You too. InShalla and Ashe. I just realized it's June 2nd and it's 222. Couldn't make that step up. Woo! Going streaming live. But blessings to you, as always, my energetic beings. So today we are channeling through our mind to either listen to the queen in our chalice or to communicate the needs of our queen. There really is nothing to think about. So feeling the streams of what we authentically believe, like naturally, taking a pathway to expand like a tree, those thoughts, exploring new ways of learning beyond the physical, maybe a little Stephen Hawking's like, streaming to shift the channels of what we believe is true authentically. And the center of what our heart feels is the light that is streaming through like rays of sunshine. So we receive messages from our heart streams, and what we feel is a path maybe of enlightened discovery. So the doorway is opening to a crossroads, if you will, of thoughts. And our imagination may be showing us some otherworldly insight. So feeling into those streams to answer the call, the messages then become clear. It's like we're getting out of muddy waters, maybe giving clarity into what we believe and what we don't believe. Sorry, I was just checking my microphone because I've had those glitches with this Mercury retrograde. However, when doing that, the muddy waters, our structure of what we believe then creates a new foundation to think upon. So with that, welcome to the Daily Snippet. I am your host, a practicing holistic medium, subtle energy surgeon, an otherworldly life coach. But I do go by the term holistic Sha medium, just blending holism, shamanism, and mediumship. My intention is truly to utilize the power of the indigenous technologies, the ways of my elder, Melodoma Some, being a protege of his for like 10 years. Along with the elemental realms, our original divine blueprint to navigate our soul's harmonic, which is online today, through the realms of the elementals, the elemental highway, and into the imaginal realms, the cosmos, with these subtle energies and elements and elemental beings, with offerings, prescriptions, and rituals to really add to your personal juice, your container, the personal container that we all have. But my goal really is to authentically merge the wisdom, the ancient wisdom, of these indigenous ways with the subtle realms, the etheric highway to assist you into navigating your inner genius, your heart's prime directive, the star that I believe we all are, just reintroducing you to and through the magical being that resides within you in your container so you too can shine your light, your inner light even brighter. My name is Tanya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. And also, if you have yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do, Tanya D. And also hit the bell button so you are notified, if you don't mind. Commenting and sharing on my videos, a comment or a share really gets you a message for your day. And in doing so, it really helps with that algorithm echo out to like-minded users in the galactic universe who are curious about the other world source, insights, spirit, the worlds of spirit, the elemental beings, and so much more. But you can also find me on other social channels like TikTok, Instagram, and of course my Musing with Tanya D podcast. So if your soul wishes to really dive in deeper into the realms of the other world, head on over to my Musing corridor where I do have a digital library, a corridor to assist you and guide you. I really am your otherworldly shaman assistant. You are your own healer. And, you know, this month, every month I do a season or a month, I guess, of angelic exploration. Besides the rising of the origins, if you have yet to explore the goodies there, this is my upcoming free 5-day immersion, just setting the stage within the elemental realm, the cosmic highway, and so much more. We're going to go live starting June 9th, a week from today, 4 p.m. Mountain Time. And if you are not able to join live, then the replay will be up shortly. However, the link is in the show notes. And also a quick note, a message. Uncovering the Secrets of the Other World is streaming this month for a limited time. Be sure to check that out. I may have gone down the rabbit hole in that one, but who doesn't love an optimistic rabbit hole anyway? Following the white rabbit. But with that, you know, our mind is expansive today, streaming in beyond the eyes of the normal. Our comfort zone may feel uncomfortable, unfamiliar, but there's a key or an access point to this doorway to transform our linear understanding through our feelings, our emotional airwaves. So our thoughts come after our feels. However, the queen of our chalice, also known as the God spot, is at the center of our prime directive, our observation station. So our feelings take precedence over our thoughts. And as those thoughts begin to be streaming in, tuning into what we're feeling about our thoughts, just know feelings trump thoughts or override them. And the moon, with her being in the middle of her passageway through the season of Cancer, our heart really may be feeling one way and our thoughts may be trying to navigate the show. So listen to your feels and allow them to be your guide, just opening us up to receive those uncomfortable, unfamiliar, maybe even unbelievable or unimaginable thoughts. Our feelings never lie, right? But our mind usually is the one who takes us down the rabbit hole, trying to control those airwaves of emotions that are really clearing up our belief structure, our foundation. And our mind, it's amazing at organization and just organizing our beliefs, putting them in the to-do list, if you will. However, it's not so great at altering the stage of the world that we are appearing to live in. So with our thought pattern shifting, unlocking from that chain I talked about a few weeks ago, our heart may come into a new understanding of how our thoughts have literally mismanaged our belief structure, creating those limiting beliefs. So it's necessary for us to have an understanding about how we authentically feel, about all the things streaming in, whether it's an event, a situation, and so much more, before we allow what we think to stream in. Therefore, the magical beast is grounding our feelings, creating a safe place, a place of security to feel through a movement. So water is the conduit of our emotions to flow, becoming clear about them, removing the muddy waters, they're clogging up the channels, so that once we're grounded, we may feel different thought pathways, just observing and taking notice. And when we think bigger or otherworldly or at a higher alternative perspective, it's like that mountaintop point of view where we go to the mountain to tell the mountain our secrets and the mountain doesn't come to us. We naturally, or naturally, my new word, begin to think differently in our observations. What we see may not go with what we feel or what we think or what we believe and even what we think about it. So flow into what feels like an invitation or an initiation to a new way of thinking differently. So with the messages today, and just off the wall, I mean, how has Mercury retrograde been for you? I mean, wow. I'm a heart gem and it's been pretty curious, just saying. But with the messages today, I'm actually going to go with the cosmic consciousness, the otherworldly light beings that bring in the language of light, sigils, the original language of signs, and also knowing that our soul's harmonic is online. So really, as I show you these images, gotta find my little dude here. There we go. So kind of take a breath and a pause, and which one of these crystals actually speaks to you? I have amethyst there, tiger's eye, and a clear quartz. So go ahead and comment below which crystal speaks out to you. And in doing so, take a breath and take a pause, and we'll continue into the magic of the elemental realm, which today we have a young fire. So, you know, are you loving that I'm switching it up a little bit? I think it's kind of makes it a little more fun. It kind of opens up our telepathy channel. Being that we're in the season of Gemini, telepathy really is open. That's our transmitter, if you will. But we are in this sunny kind of a day. We've got a young fire dog of a day, and the dog is actually part of a fire trine. Earlier today at the hour of the horse, that's fire as well. That's when we had a fire trine with the tiger on the year there. So it's a bing zhu of a day, and it cracks me up, the bings and the dings. Tomorrow's going to be a ding of a day, just saying. But our day is strong. It's on fire, fire being, born in the season of the snake. This is the first stage of fire, the beginning of summer. So the element of fire is like birthing. It's getting stronger. Summer has arrived, hopefully. Don't know where you live, but my house is still cold. But our young fire day, it's strong, but it's bright and it's sunny. but our day is way too hot. It needs the energy of the yang water, which is in the year, to cool down the effects of the sun. And yang metal, that would be a great asset. It not only produces more of the big oceanic water, the yang water, but it also gives our day a job. And our day needs a job, right? But it's the key element for our day. Yang metal, not yin metal, different frequencies. But being that yang water is very important for our day today, yang earth, the mountain, and remember, we go to the mountain to tell the mountain our secrets, and the mountain absorbs it and releases it. That's like part of a ritual for a big mountain. But it shouldn't be too excessive, however, because it's going to gain control over the ocean waters, if you will, the big water that we need for our big fire. And also big wood, which is also on the year. We don't need so much of that either because of the power to absorb the big water, which is actually needed. So, and it's adding to the fire that needs to be reduced so it doesn't get out of control, not increased. So I hope that makes sense. But our day is the light of the sun. It's shining bright on all living things, creatures, all of it. And our day is easygoing. These are the people we can trust. They're direct. They're direct like sunlight, the rays of sunlight. And we also have rays that actually beam out of our energetic centers or beam back in, two forces there. But this frequency is generous. It adds passion, enthusiasm to everything they do. So their purpose is like bright light, their energy to other people, right? So that's why yang water is the most useful element for our day today. The water surface really amplifies the effect of the sun. So it's like the feedback and the reflection. Without that, they may begin to doubt themselves. So think of yourself being on a boat out in the ocean and the sun's reflecting. You know, you usually get really burnt, or at least I do, being a ginger. Not my favorite thing to do. I did try to be tan, but that don't work. Either way, that's if we don't have the reflection and the feedback, that's when we may begin to have that self-doubt, being an inner critic or something like that. And on our month, we have the neighboring god. This would be like in the village we live in, altruist. If you listen to yesterday's snippet, we also had this god, but it was as a global or worldly god. Today it's in the neighborhood, the community, the village, our innate nature. So today may be one with concern for our well-being of the community, the people, those that are in need, appear weak or poor, or they just need assistance. So you take the energy of using song, music, to write a story, addressing those injustices in the world. So this is like ballads and stuff like that. Sounds like we may have a neighborhood, kind of like city meetings for people to reach out to the people that are in need. That's kind of what that feels like for our neighborhood, if you will. And our global god is charisma. So again, this is the high energy of the sun. The sun is high, it's out in the galaxy, it's highly charismatic, sharing its light, its streams to everyone. It's this effortless talent, it's an authority, it's a charismatic leader, confidence, courage, seen from the outside, but not necessarily from the inner world. So yang energy is our outer world, it's our lifestyle, it's how we appear. Our yin frequency it's our inner bodies. It's what's private inside of us. So our day is rooted actually in the month of the snake. It has water to assist it in shining really bright, but it does need leadership skills. That comes from metal, forging the metal into something new, alchemy. That's what comes to my mind. So metal or mineral is the element of our day. So I would literally ground into either crystals, stones, stone tapping even, breaking into the realm of the wisdom of our bones. How can we maybe become more community orientated, neighborly, if you will? That's kind of the frequency of what's happening, communication and storytelling within the neighborhood, the village, the city. So with that, now back to let me get rid of this. So I'm not seeing any comments on who you're streaming and who you're picking here. So here we are. So once again, who do you choose? The clear quartz, the tiger's eye, or an amethyst? My gosh, my tongue is flipping the coins today. So, ding, ding. Let me make sure. Yes. So if you chose clear quartz, you're receiving the Unity card. This is from the Pleiades constellation. It's an expanding energy. And these, the Pleiadians, they're the closest ancestors. And indigenous cultures all over the world have referenced them to their energy of representing that expansion, our potential. And as we become more aligned with universal connection, what I see as the Galactic Federation, if you will. So what begins as a potential, it expands through the interaction. So this energy really assists us through our earthy journey, the earth school, to be more or to be as smooth as possible. But unity, just knowing our unique connection to life. Unity is also the Fae, if you will. It's a similar energy. If you've listened to me randomly, you know I love the Fae, the fairies, but the word itself stems from the word meaning one. So it's just having the same foundation, and it's a word like unique. So unity honors our individuality because diversity strengthens the whole container of life. And the separation of physicality is obvious, but soon as we begin to focus upon this unseen truth of this streaming connection, it's like the connection of the divine, really, love, that channel. That's when we begin to build a new future without wounding of separation. And the Pleiadians themselves learned that this connection heals our fears and it keeps control and suppression. I was thinking suppression from spreading. Hang on, my thing is making me a little crazy today. Can you still hear me? Just checking. That was bugging me. So within unity, this is when we begin to honor our uniqueness within ourselves. But at the same time, we're holding compassion and strength and hope for the whole container, which we each have the power to have forgiveness. We have courage for vision. And sometimes others are still learning to access this. So our ability to see connection supports our innate thriving. So it's a message kind of calling out or beckoning for us to utilize our empowered knowingness that we are safe to express, but we're also safe to connect. So when we see past the limited truths of separations, we then embrace the expansive truth of the wholeness, the village, the container. So it kind of goes with the elemental highway today. It's a combination of both the beauty within diversity and seeing that there is beauty there, and also the sovereignty of life. It's our power within the knowingness that not only are we unique, but also we are infinitely valuable to this expansion, the evolution of life on Earth. So the language of light in this card is more about supporting this empowerment so we may easily embrace our own uniqueness, our authenticity, our talents, along with the talents of others, seeing their own unique magic, helping us to move past scarcity mindset, things that keep people feeling unsafe. So really, take that breath. That's what I always go to. Take the breath and take the pause. It's like love, honor. I would say also cherish your unique choices, your perspectives, your form, and just appreciate the diversity in the world, the magic out there, even those that we may disagree with. You might look at things through different eyes, serving for the evolution of love, the connection to the divine, to source, and find perspective of hope and holding a vision of improvement, what our future streams may look like, and see the magic of our talents, the talents of others, as an inspiration or an inspiring life within itself. Hope that makes sense. Who chose the tiger's eye? Any tiger's eyes out there? Streaming in. So the tiger's eye, where are you? There you are. The tiger's eye, this is safety. It's the Lyrans are about awareness. So they have this energy of culminating life. It's an expression of polarities, dualities, healing the duality of separation, the deeply embedded into all of their frequency, what they represent. They're often characterized as beings that are of lion. They look like lionesses or a lioness. But the lesson here, their energy is offering is this deep seed of awareness. I feel like it's in the Earth star nature. It connects the physical to the pure potential streaming through us. So when we become aware or conscious, we begin to change more rapidly and often more consciously. So it may appear as if we can resist or stay the same, but the change has actually been initiated. And oftentimes, whatever we resist always persists. So it's like getting the memo, right? So this is where we can discern our safety more easily and have clarity and continue to grow. And the world around us often teaches us that we are unsafe. And a lot of times it comes from well-meaning people that feel that they must keep us or help us by alerting us of all the changes out in the world. And oftentimes, a lot of it's just fear-based marketing, right? And there's nothing generally inherently wrong with being informed, well-informed, but it's a task really to discern when it's of value to us. So when it's a form of conscious or unconscious manipulation, that's when our perception of life immediately affects our participation in life. So the Lyrans discovered that safety has to be nurtured within ourselves, which creates this feeling, this essence of being capable of responding to our own lives. So the message here is reminding us that we are safer oftentimes than we even realize. And it's wise to be aware of our situations that are potentially dangerous or hazardous while still being open to living life with joy and in the joy as we interact with others, and just being aware of their motivations without judging them as right or wrong, black or white, and not allowing, especially in the season of Gemini, those irrational thoughts and today the emotional fears to really dominate our lives, holding us back. So really practice, if you pick this message, practice your awareness today and discern when you aren't feeling threatened. And the language of light, that's creating a deep knowing of our safety that's in our bones, while at the same time we're maintaining the wisdom of protection and reaction, which is, it's a benefit, right? It's beneficial, but it's also strengthening our ability to discern our own personal well-being on a path, a journey to improvement, examining our fears, which are false evidence affecting our reality, and determining what no longer is serving us. So I would say be realistic, be optimistic about your safety and your ability to protect yourself. And observe that fear-based manipulation of the media oftentimes and unplug from it. Like, I don't even watch the news anymore. It's kind of a thing. But don't even allow fear of rejection to deter you off your path from expressing who you are authentically. That's what safety is, right? Knowing we are safe, we are already secure, we are in our skin, we are embodied. And if you chose the, I almost said it. If you chose Amethyst, anger, right? Which is curious. This is the Orion belt releasing. And the Orions of all the races, they had this dramatic transformation of all. Probably the most traumatic of all these races on the earth plane, dramas. They're all being played out. They're all being healed. I don't know if you know this, but the Star Wars saga is part of the Orion story. It's the core of being powerless or not having power, victimhood, it's shame, possibly blame. So it's this domination and harm that's been magnified. So this energy of releasing or transforming works in profound ways within our environment and our empowerment within ourselves. So life energetically is always supporting us towards growth. And anger shows us a desire for that empowerment within ourselves. So a lot of people believe that anger is an indication of lack of spirituality, but actually it's quite the opposite. Anger resides within the body, spirit, energy, love is a source that flows through us. So authentically, it's this powerful spiritual quality. And the Orions really recognize the value of being authentic, but also being compassionate. So in doing so, our work really is to process the anger in a healthy way so it doesn't cause any more harm to ourselves or others. And once we recognize what is behind our anger, that's when we can release it, we can heal it, and we can create a new future. Like separating the waves is kind of what came in. But anger is telling us really that it's time to honor our authentic selves and be more full. it can be expressed safely without harming another. The key is just to make sure that we are not abusing another with words, but that we are expressing ourselves with integrity and honesty. So anger also, it invites us to have an opportunity to heal feeling powerlessness into a deeper understanding of our own capacity to love, mostly ourselves first. So the message is kind of reminding us that healthy anger can help us heal the blame, resentment, pain, fear that our anger may be protecting to keep us feeling safe, right? Kind of interesting how these cards are all flowing from unity, right? So it's not healthy to deny our anger. Our anger generally needs to be validated, needs to be authentic. We need to express it, but expressing it in ways that don't harm ourselves or others. Generally, I probably would get on the treadmill for about 2 hours, depending on the anger. But it's an indication that we may feel powerless and we need to hold better boundaries. As we become more empowered inside of ourselves, within us, that's when we start feeling less of this anger. So this message, the light language, is really assisting us to discover these empowering within us that anger is kind of pointing us towards. So it is about releasing fear, sorrow, disappointment that anger often masks behind the mask. So really look within for your fear, sorrow, and anger that may feel as if it needs to be protected or it can't be seen, and holding our boundaries with strength and compassion and forgiveness, and not taking our anger out on others or allowing others to dump their anger on us either, and really find that creative outlet or support that our anger needs. Things like music, dancing, writing, drawing, whatever creative asset that works for you. Like I said, it would be, for me, it'd be getting on the treadmill, might be pulling weeds, literal weeds in the yard, and just exploring our intellectual foundation, feeling into the pathways that really feel correct. So what's inviting or what feels inviting to you today? And if things are feeling off, get to the foundation and go look and see what is actually under the rug and figure out the whys of all the things. So you may be expanding beyond your normal comfort zones into the unfamiliar, creating a new stage to get familiar with, getting familiar with the unfamiliar, and just facing those uncertain aspects. This creates an understanding of the options that are like on our pathways before us, just landing, streaming in. And often, there's a memo or a lesson to be learned about what our highest potential is that we actually hold within ourselves. This is often a breakdown to the breakthrough, the rug getting pulled out from under us, patterns that we may be releasing. So it's like exploring different aspects of where these pathways lead. That's kind of the yang metal leadership skills. You may even open up to a new book, something different that you might not have ever read before, have different options within our career, a job, promotion, investment. Really, it's this mountaintop, otherworldly perspective of maybe how things are threading differently for you or streaming in with new eyes. So we really want to ask ourselves, on what level do we believe our future resides on? And be in the flow of clarity, the deep ocean. If I was doing a divination with the cowrie shells, because that's kind of how I play with these elementals, like incorporate them into the Dagara cosmology with the elementals as well. They kind of bounce off the frequency for me, but just filling into our thoughts, that really does beacon in a new belief to take shape, to form. Following the feeling that promotes peace, calmness, serenity. Those are all water aspects, clarity, reconciling things, differences maybe. So when we see what feels, like the feels, not the fail, come up through the bubbling springs, if you will, we may open up to a new paradigm, a new belief chapter, searching within ourselves what feel better, if you will, just opening up to a new world of new thoughts, a different pathway of our thinking, our thinker is what I was going to say. I see the dude with his hand on his head, that statue, the thought guy. That makes sense. But really having a mountaintop point of view, a higher thought perspective that may be abnormal to the world around you in the process of feeling before thinking, just elevating or upcycling our belief system to feel something otherworldly and allowing emotions to stream just cleaning out the old thought patterns and opening up to a new attitude, a new behavior that can thread in our day-to-day life, like a whole new habit even. So our thought processor then becomes transformed. So it really is time to upcycle the chamber of what our heart believes in life, our future life. So with metal being unrefined metal, being our alchemist today, and the seed sounds of our soul's harmonic, sigils, signs, all the juice, feel into what feels right and ask your heart if it believes it to be true, too. And at the very end, allow those heartfelt feelings to be the thoughts that inspire or inspirit you today. And the sun, being young fire, that's bringing in the rays of the divine. So I would affirm that my heart is lighting up my personal sky with charisma to empower my day within. It's unity, right? That really is the sun as well. It's the streams of unity. So it feels light and my thoughts are in alignment with what my heart feels. I would literally gravitate towards that sensation, the feels that feel the gooder and the goodest, if that makes sense. So with that, thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to sign up for Rising of the Origins. We're launching a week from today. I probably won't be doing a daily snippet those 2 days. Matter of fact, I know I won't be. So with that, thanks for tuning in. And as always, I will see you on the other side. Make it a magical day. And I can't wait to see what Friday brings. Oh, that's right. Mercury is stopping. Blessings.